A common problem with these units relies on the view meters. Many of them get stuck over the time. I'm fitting the deck with an external source, and when I turn up the master control, you can see that the left channel view meter works more or less right, but the right channel is stuck in the middle. It barely moves and it doesn't do a natural movement. We're going to try to fix this in this video. When we remove the cover, we get to this layout. This is the front side, this is the back side. First we have to remove this plate with these two screws. When removing the second screw, I advise you to hold with your fingers the plate so you can freely move the screw out. Now we have to remove this holding frame here, which has 3 screws, 1, 2 and 3 in the upper side. But the screwdriver will touch this board. So first you have to remove this board by pressing this retainer outside together with this one, and then pulling the board . Take care, because the board has the pins unprotected, so you could easily bend them. You don't need to remove these 2 bottom screws. You can just loose them a bit and then move this frame upside and this to one side like this, and then it will come off easily. This is the view meter, and as you can see, it has 2 parts: the back side, which is white, and the front, which is transparent. These are both held together with an adhesive tape, which is located around the bottom and on the top of it. To work in this part, I suggest you to cut the cables and take it to a desk. I've unsoldered these 2 wires before, but I fear that applying too much heat will probably cause some damage inside. So I think it's better to just cut them and then solder them back with a shrinking tube to let it to do a good work. Now you can see a magnification of the mechanism. You will see as it turns the screw, and under the screw it looks like there is a white rusty metal. One of my strategies is going to be to get a needle coated with oil and try to get some oil in the junction between the screw and the metal, in the hope that it will lubricate and will leave the needle to move freely. Now this is the view meter without the front transparent plastic. The problem lies under this screw, which still has the lacquer on it. You can try to unscrew it, and that's difficult because the lacquer will prevent it from moving at all. As I've shown you in the other video, there may be some rust under it. So one of the solutions would be to try to bend this metal carefully up, and then the screw wouldn't make much pressure over the axis, which is below it. I've also put a tiny drop of oil next to the axis, hoping that the oil gets to the right place. But I haven't been able to unscrew this screw. I've tried to bend the metal a bit, and I think it's worked. Now the viewmeter moves freely. I could move it with my fingers and it would go back to the lowest position. And after the fix, you can see that both viewmeters move freely, but that doesn't mean that they are perfect. I'm going to turn the volume all the way up, and when I switch from source to tape, the viewmeters will go back to the lowest position at a different speed. You can see that the right channel always gets first. That means that either this is too loose or this is too tightened. We should rework a bit them to make them perform equally, but that's a very difficult task I'm not going to do today.